2 weeks. 2 weeks he's had. I'll give him a buzz. Call Terry. Yeah, Terry, you coming in? Said he'd be in 10 minutes. Last time. Terry, are you coming this week, mate? Guess not. Whew. Big weekend, mate.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by the good people of Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe everywhere you can.
It's nice to have you back, Terry. Welcome back to the couch.
It's been a hot minute. The co-stars, they've come in, they've done all right.
They've done admirably.
They've held you together.
Yeah, well, that's ultimately why I got someone else.
That is why you got someone else to do it. Now, big weekends. Big weekend everywhere, on and off the field. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about on the field. The Storm and Dogs. And two teams undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think about that, but you're right.
Now, the Storm have had a bye.
Yes, but we have to assume they would have won anyways.
Yeah, probably. They beat the bye.
Yeah,
they got the 2 points.
Got them.
The Dogs. Mm-hmm. Look, they haven't really played anyone good.
No.
But they've got through their work. They've got through what they needed to get through.
Who's ahead of?
They've won. Yeah, that's it. You beat who's ahead of you. The Storm, on the other hand, they absolutely destroyed Parramatta, and they looked like they were going to destroy a Penrith team that were really, really down on troops, only for Penrith to
be Penrith.
Mm-hmm. You know, sub in the next person who's just going to come in and do the job done. Get the job done. Sorry, Melbourne find themselves behind, and then they have to, reach into their reserve and find what they've got, and they've got a lot.
They certainly do. I think both teams have shown they're very serious because both teams are the favourite side. Mm-hmm. I was really impressed, not with the game because it was terrible, but the Bulldogs won without their two main stars, in Burton and Kickout. And it was always like, it's going to be tough when you take the best two stars out of every team, let alone a team, in that sort of situation. Good on them.
Yeah.
The people are bagging them, and I'm like, you can't do much more.
No, and the other thing as well is, unless my eyes were deceiving me, that Parramatta field looked awful. It looked really wet. It was choppy. It was slippery.
Yeah, well, it did rain a fair bit overnight and this morning,
Yeah, and so, the Bulldogs just played that game plan of we're missing our stars, so let's play it up the middle, let's kick to the corners, let's defend, wait for Parramatta to make a mistake. Mistakes they made. There you go.
Capitalise. Hey, I'm not going to get any negativity out of me. As for Melbourne, round one they looked incredible. It must be hard having a pre-season, playing round one, having a bye and coming back. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like they were ever going to lose. We were watching up the coast, fantastic. But even when Penrith got ahead, you're like, I just feel like Melbourne are too good. Pappenhausen scored, you're like, here we go. Very impressed with both teams. Yeah,
very, very impressed.
Now, look, Penrith yet to win in Australia. The Sharks yet to lose in Australia. Just want to put that out there. I don't think the Warriors have won or lost in Australia now that I think of it.
Fair play.
There you go. There's a stat no one else will tell you.
Right. There is another team who is catching the eyes of supporters, yourself, myself as well. That's the West Tigers. Now, they had some eerie similarities after the first two rounds of they lost in week 1 in 2024 and 2025, and then in week 2, they won 32 points to 6.
Ooh, okay.
It was actually week 3. But whatever.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, so they won their first game that they won was 32 points to 6, and then they had a bit of a drop off against the Dolphins. It looked like that was happening, as is with this Dolphins team. As you and I have sat here and said so many times, that when they get into a hard game, they're gassed after 60 minutes. They don't have the depth that the other teams do. They've got some pretty good players, but they just don't have that depth. I'm actually worried about the Dolphins. Now, we had them at 9th.
Yeah, I look back at that and I think there hasn't been a team in the post-Wayne Bennett time that's done well. Why do we think this would be any different? I saw exactly what I thought I'd see from the Dolphins this year, this week.
Yep.
They had some moments of brilliance. They rushed out to a quick lead and everyone's thinking, well, the Tigers are, how are you going to claw this one back? And then they looked really, really good and the Dolphins looked all at sea. So, it doesn't look like Christian Wolf's got that magical touch either. It's still very, very early, of course. But the Tigers, I was impressed.
Signing of the season, Sania Taruva.
He's great.
For the...
He's made a thing and they jumped on it real quick.
Real quick.
I got to say, Look, Luai's obviously the man, and Lachlan Galvin is a genius. Those wingers in Skelton and Taru have completely changed that team. They can get out of their own era, which we haven't seen for a long time. And when you talk about Terrell May, and we will, he could be signing it season.
Yeah, I actually think it is him so far. But yeah, look, for the Tigers, they're super impressive as well. And the other thing, when the Tigers have been down 18 points to 6, and before they got themselves back into the game, a few things didn't go their way. That's when you usually see the Tigers lose 30, 40 to 6 in seasons gone by. They've got that player in Jerome Luai who he made a mistake and told everyone to lift. And he was like, his standards had dropped because he dropped the ball when they were on attack.
Yeah, he lost the ball, but got all those premiership rings.
But he lost the ball and he was like yelling at himself, and then just was like, fine, whoever was in reach of him was getting a spray.
Completely fair. That's what you need. I want to just shout out Happy Coruscant. Because halfway through that game, I tweeted that Blake Bradley's the second best hooker in the game right now. Obviously, Harry Grant number 1, and everyone's like, "Oh, Happy's number 1." I was like, when he came back to second, I was like, "Yeah, of course." And Bradley's number 2, maybe number 3. But
Happy had a stormer.
He was fantastic, and I think him playing off the bench works really well because you see him play 55, get gassed. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
I like what I'm saying. There was something else this weekend that I really, really liked what I saw, and that was Josh Curran impersonating a referee and then getting penalised.
That I like.
Yes, yeah. And Wyatt Raymond called it straight away, so that's not in the spirit of the game. Stephen Cryan came out and said, "Wait, what's that penalty for?" And he said he called an offside player out, and that player stopped. He didn't go and make the tackle because he thought he'd been called out offside. Great call.
It is.
And then someone tweeted online that is actually a rule that the referee can penalise you for not being in the spirit of the game.
I love this because how many times do you... if they'd let that go, you're going to see it every week. But how many times do you see a player call a player's nickname? Oi, Chiefy, and get the ball and laugh, intercept. Funny. When it's a referee and you're calling held and they stop to play the ball, you get penalised or etc. etc. Glad they clamped on that real quick.
I'm all for the... calling on the inside when they're about to score a try, going, oi, sweet, pass the ball for an intercept, right?
Excellent.
That is, that's gamesmanship. But calling a player out by his name and saying you're offside, that's terrible.
It was. I'm glad it got clamped down. Of course, it is a little bit funny.
Funny.
So it's not a abhorrent situation. You can't be doing it though.
And you know what the best thing about it was an indifferential penalty as well. So Parramatta couldn't go and kick 2 points for it, which is even worse. Because that's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's you sit down and think about what you've done, Josh Curran. Shout out, it's cheeky. He tried to try it, but Wyatt Raymond was wired on it.
Absolutely loved it. What else I'm loving is player performances.
Let's see.
Where you're just not expecting it.
Jaw dropping. Good.
Ruben Garrick, new dad, would have been running on no sleep, pure adrenaline. 4
tries.
4 tries. Now, I was a bit disappointed he didn't rock the baby each time.
We did 3 of them, and then he probably
2.
got bored.
2.
After that, they're like, what are you going to do? He's like, my arms are tired.
Yeah, he was holding it all.
I got to try. It looked like he was going to score 5 or 6, so he's probably saving a few.
I was hoping he was going to at least get to 5.
Yeah, he almost did. He was through and he offloaded, flick pass.
28-point haul from him, though, is...
pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive. So congratulations, Ruben Garrick. I know you'll be watching this. Congratulations to you and your partner on the birth of your baby. Now, speaking of dads, Payne Haas is the father of North Queensland.
Oh, he made a statement. We said a couple of weeks ago, you got the best forwards. It could be Payne Haas, could be Fanua Blake. It's Payne Haas. As good as Fanua Blake's been, Payne Haas has been so good. And it's funny because it's not often that New South Wales have those killer forwards in abundance. They usually have one, Payne Haas. This year, I'm throwing Lindsay Smith in there. He's been brutal. Terrell May, there's 3. So watch him pick Jake Trbojevic.
Yeah. Watch him pick, Jake Turbo and I don't know, some other dad.
You put Mitch Barnett in there. That's 4 scary
that's got to be the middle. And Isaac Lock.
Yeah,
you got Stefano as well. I don't think Stefano makes it.
But probably not, but that's showing how good they are.
Yeah.
But Payne Haas, Pat Carrigan's been here, right?
Yeah.
Tino's been here. Payne Haas has been up here.
Yeah.
It has been ridiculous. So much fun to watch.
Yeah, the performance that he's putting in, I think he's the clear number 1 prop at the moment. I'd throw Adam Fanua Blake at number 2.
Yeah.
But there's someone on his heels.
Yeah.
Someone on his heels. and I still don't know why the Roosters let him go. But Terrell May's start for the Tigers has been nothing short of exceptional. He has been what they've been missing.
Yeah.
He has been what they thought they were going to get in David Clemmer.
100%.
He has been what they thought, what we all thought Stefano was going to be.
Yeah.
He's just insane.
He is, and he's got such a presence. He looks like he's grabbing blokes by the scruff and dragging them with him too. Because Seyfarth was diabolical in round one. Now he looks like a weapon.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd say those words.
And it's the same thing, like Fanua Bolo, who's playing prop with him.
Yep.
He's playing the perfect number 2 role.
Yeah.
But Alex Twal, you get the Terrell May, the Fanua Bolo, and then he just takes that third hit up on momentum. He looks awesome.
Yeah, he does. It's completely changed that team, and it's like no coincidence. We called it last year. We said Terrell May signs for Cronulla. We were in the premiership. Put 2 of those freaks in. Mm-hmm. The Roosters fans are they're gonna have to cop this.
They have to. Well, I don't think they should cop it. They should be ringing saying why.
That's true. Do you think Nick Politis is going to get sick of hearing people like us do this and go, yeah, well, he did this?
Well, something needs to come out as to why he was released.
I'll tell you what, if they don't have something that's horrible, they can't say. If they're like, oh, his attitude stunk, well, that's on you to get him motivated. Because look what he's doing at the Tigers.
Yeah, if it's just an attitude, or if they were really upset in the fact that he said, oh, rugby league's not the most important thing to me, it's just my job. It's their job.
It's literally their job. If you're very, very good at your job.
Yeah. Like Nico Hines, for all the time we say we don't want him on podcasts and everything, turned around and said if he wasn't a professional rugby league player, he would try and be a professional surfer. Yeah. Because he loves surfing so much.
Yep.
These guys have other interests outside of rugby league. Yeah. They're just really good at rugby league and they make a lot of money from it.
Yeah, and he's very, very good at rugby league.
Very, very good at rugby league. Now, 2 teams that weren't very good at rugby league this year got pulled right back. I've still got it. I haven't been here for 2 weeks.
Would you say, Terry, that they've been exposed?
Yeah, look, one team more than the other, right? I would say Canberra got way more exposed.
Oh, geez, they look.
Yeah, they were really, really bad. Canberra were awful, and lucky to get those 12 consolation. I hate it when you see a team up 40-0. You just really want to see them
60.
Hold it. No, I don't care about the 60. Yeah, keep it.
That's fair. And you hear Brookvale when Sebastian Chris got
that deflation, right?
Sucks.
Newcastle. Look, they were poor against the Titans.
Yep.
They were really, really poor against the Titans. And some of the fundamental errors that they made. But Newcastle really went away from the game plan that got them over the line against the Dolphins last week. And that was straightening up. Yeah, well, apart from that. But straightening up the attack. They had no one. They're just so sideways.
No, look, Jack Hogg is not ideal, which is why they signed Dylan Brown. I think Fletcher Sharp is very, very young in his move into the 6, so I can't blame him. And Ponga was, he scored 16 points in Supercoach this week. Just couldn't get into the game.
Of course he did, because I brought him in and captained him.
That's going to happen. You can't always have a player just go out there and just boss the game. We saw it Manly. What's his name? Cherry Evans didn't boss the game early. He did when they got up. They fought in, and then he got into it. So you got to find a way to get into the game. Newcastle just didn't have it. Bradman Best looked okay. Dan Gagai looked like 105.
Yep.
Last 2 weeks, he's been incredible, though. You're going to have those off days. And again, the Titans are going to blow some teams off the park.
Yep.
And they did. Yep. They're going to win games by 30. They're going to lose them by 30. It's just which one you run into. Newcastle got hammered. Canberra got
when you get a performance like that from Tino, they're going to win more games.
Oh, big time. They look very, very good.
They look pretty good. Again, I still didn't like the performance from AJ Brimson. I'm not here to dump on him. Thought Jaden Campbell was okay. Their fullback is electric.
Yeah, Kinney.
Yeah, Kinney's very, very good. I like the rotation of Berrells and Randall.
Yeah, that's
but I still think they need to do something with AJ Brimson. They got to move him on.
Yeah, to Newtown.
Yeah, Newcastle.
Jerry,
talk to me, Dan.
Time to talk. Some black, white, and blue, and boys are good to have.
I haven't done it for 2 weeks.
You haven't, but how good does this feel? I've had some troubles with the recent guests on the show. Fantastic Saturday afternoon, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, look, 3-0 is always going to be nice, and it wasn't like we played like the Warriors in one, the Storm in the other, and then the Rabbits. It was just clean sweep the Rabbits.
Just put them away. The flag made it difficult for themselves. Newtown started slowly, then just once they clicked, they're unstoppable. Yeah, and they clicked and they were unstoppable. Surprise, surprise. And then I thought the main event was pretty darn good.
take the last 15, 20 minutes aside, or even 25 minutes, whatever you want to call it. But when you're up 26-0, the message probably went out and said, save yourself, we've got the Dogs next week. 2 injuries have already happened.
That's true. I also have a theory that even if the coach is saying, foot on the throat, get him, put 40 on him, mentally you're just like, it's 26.
It's hot.
Do I really have the energy to run this up to 40? It's South, they're not getting back in the game.
It's hot, it's humid.
You did see their head drops when they scored. Mm-hmm. That second one that Humphrey scored again, Cronulla did that last week, they let Drinkwater just run through and score. Things to work on. But again, they've all had the flu, they've all had COVID. It was 30,000 degrees down there. Like, it looked terribly hot. Game was done.
We won.
It could have been 40-0 at half time. If you find a negatives, you're probably looking a bit too hard.
Yeah, the game's done. We won. Take it as it is. Won by 13 plus. It's a good win, right? It's a very
disrespectful field goal.
Yes, that's what we have to talk about now. Let's get into the negatives before we go about it. The injuries obviously are going to mar this contest. Cecil Talakai gets the hip drop. Was it a hip drop? Wasn't it a hip drop? By definition, yes.
Yeah.
Sucked. Unfortunately, I don't think Jai Gray could have done much more.
No.
But it was just in a bad position.
Yeah, and I was okay with it not being sin bin too. I saw some people. I thought it was a penalty.
Yep, definite penalty. I mean, you say definite penalty. Yeah. It was a penalty.
Yeah.
It's one of them ones where if it happened if Will Kennedy got penalised, I'd be like,
yeah, he probably blown up.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't want the sin bin.
Yeah, that's it as well. Look, Ueli, I thought, was playing really well, and then he gets injured. And this is the thing for him. And his injury is apparently it's going to keep him out for a couple of weeks.
That sucks. See, Talakai came in the other day and looked like the Talakai we wanted. And he was smashed, skittling blokes.
And the worst thing is, I thought he scored that.
Yeah, me too. I did. And
the ball landed on the line.
I think if they gave it a try, it's a try. Yeah. But he was like right there, so benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
I thought Talakai was immense.
Yeah.
I thought huge after his first rush of blood, ran up, had the ball in one hand, tried to offload, lost it. You see him, someone went up, I can't remember who it was, 2 hands, head and thing. He was great.
Yep.
Atkinson, I thought, ran hard again though.
I don't like it. It's a waste.
Well, he's going to be there for the next few weeks because it looks like Hamilton's out. The hope is that Tom Hazelton's ready to go.
Yeah, and Toby's back.
Which is great news. I'd forgotten about Toby. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
Colquhoun's still a few weeks away. So there's some troops coming, but yeah, next week the bench makeup might be a little bit different.
I think even though Toby's back, it might be a game in Newtown for him, and Billy Burns might get the call up.
Hey, look, completely fair. Billy Burns has been electric again, and we've got a few middles down there that are doing very young, but they're all going to be very good. So, 3-0, triple header, 3 wins.
The injuries sucked, but do you know what didn't suck? Our halves. Our halves are incredible. Now, if I see one team of the week this week, just one, that doesn't have Braden Trindle in it, so help me God.
Completely fair.
Because I've taken a really, really decent hiatus away from social media because I've had upcoming events in my life that are over now.
Yeah, so back.
I'm back. So if there is one team release where Braden Trindle is not your 5/8 of the week, I will literally tear somebody apart because 2 40-20s, a try, just literally kicks South Sydney off the park.
He did. He was electric. Nico was electric.
Nico was awesome.
They were so the way he just ran that ball and scored early on. You're like, okay, Nico's on.
Yeah.
And they're still going. Who's the dominant half? Who cares?
Do you know who the dominant half is in that combination?
The one's
Blake Brayley.
Yeah, well, he decides where the ball goes. I do not care what number they have on the back. I don't care what role they play. They both play to left and right, and let's go together. I don't care who's first receiver.
Let's really confuse people, right? To stop this, one's got 6, one's got 7 on their back. Name them in the 21 and 22 every week.
Yeah,
and then just drop the halves.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Just drop the halves out of the game. Put them in there, and then no one will say boo.
No.
And you'll really see who the halfback is then. It's Braden Trindle.
Yeah.
He's just got the 6 on his back.
It is. It was fantastic. But
the dominant half in it, as I said, is Blake Brayley. He's been awesome.
Been so good. Hasn't missed tackling forever, although it might have been updated. I don't care.
His service.
He's
clean, crisp, beautiful.
He's been great. He's just been playing what we wanted him last year.
Yeah.
We saw a bit of it. He's just picking the ball up. He's like, yep, there's the numbers, bang. There was that set where there was a few crash plays. But when you throw in a Fanua Blake, I'm okay with that. But I thought he was great. It was a shame that he got the cork and had to come off. I thought Atkinson at 9 was good, other than that one moment where he forgot to pick the ball up.
Yeah, there was one, the Britt Nickera try as well. You could see we were deep to the left, and so all Souths ran out that way, and Brayley just picks the ball up, goes the other way, short ball, Nickera's in under the post. And you're like, that is class.
It's brilliant. He almost did it again.
Yeah.
Nicker about 5 minutes later around the line. I was like, he's going to score. Yeah.
Yeah, got tripped.
Brilliant tackle.
By his own foot.
Can I just give a shout out? And I don't do this often to Jai Gray. Cronulla scored 2 of the best tries you'll see all year. One of them, Jai Gray made 3 try-saving tackles and almost got the 4th. Got HIA because his head almost came off his shoulders.
Yeah.
You don't get that from Terrell May. He misses the first tackle and rats. We score untouched. Ronaldo.
Yep.
That
awesome.
pickup, the look where he's passed and everyone's screaming, don't. And then he runs and breaks, then he offloads. And then you see Kennedy give Euro space and Euro just burns Ravalawa or he's not there. Wanted no part of that 80 metres. He's like, here you go.
Yeah,
Kennedy's
just take it.
No.
Ravalawa collected his toll money and just kept going.
It did. It was beautiful football. And then they did it again a couple of minutes later.
Yeah.
When Stone Street passed that ball, I was, what are you doing? He saw there was numbers. You see, he had a cork early on. So in the first half, he grabbed his hamstring and I was like, oh, God.
That's his butt, I thought.
Yeah, I was like, we're going here.
Yeah.
And then he threw that pass and he just hobbled and I'm like, he's done. Second half,
Probably had the needle.
yeah, it's going to hurt next week when we have to name Hilarity. But whatever, he's been great too. But that ball, Kennedy called it, but I don't think it was meant to go how it did.
No, I don't think it was either.
But they scored, so whatever.
Yeah, look, it was absolutely awesome.
I wish he'd scored that try. Oh my God.
Yeah, Iro has been the best centre in the competition to start this, by far. It's not even close. Yes, Ruben Garrick scored 4 tries. Yes, he was awesome for 1 week. Iro has been immense for 3 weeks.
Campbell Graham got monstered.
Yeah,
and
he probably wish he didn't come back.
I don't say that much. He was bodied 3 or 4 times and you see him at the end just like shaking his head.
Just couldn't believe it. Now, one player in our fan base who divides, even on this couch, Will Kennedy. What have you made of him so far?
Electric.
Yeah, you can't fault him.
2 amazing games and a pretty darn good one.
Yeah, so he's come up with a try saver every week as well. He had the one in Vegas on Lindsay Smith. He threw Talangi over the sideline as well. And he had another one on the weekend. I can't remember it because the weekend's a bit fuzzy. But I remember going, Jesus, like, Kennedy of old doesn't stop these tries. Yes. I think it might have been it was the high ball that he took.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, so, look, it's...
He's been so...
I think he's been awesome.
Attack, defence, running, try scoring, under the high ball.
The only thing his support play. But he was there for Iro.
Yeah, look, he was. Yeah, and Iro didn't pass in the ball.
He was there for Iro.
And Kennedy didn't want the ball. He was yelling, run.
Yeah.
And the way they were calling it, I was expecting a fullback and him to draw and pass. I thought that was Iro's doing. Iro was just bugging.
Yeah. I think Iro was expecting once he'd beaten Ravalawa and got out of the was it Tallis Duncan? He skipped Tallis Duncan. I think he was waiting for the fullback and he looked and realised there was no fullback.
Yeah, and he just waddled in. Someone said he runs funny and I'm offended by that.
He does run funny.
He runs perfectly. Yeah. Everyone else runs funny.
Yeah, that's fair. Last point I want to bring up on this, another cracking weekend for Cronulla as I think we sit 5th on the ladder, 5th or 6th at the moment, whatever. 5th. Thank you, Dids. Penalties in possession. We've given away a penalty in possession every game.
There's a negative, yep, I agree.
This week it was by Fanua Blake, and on replay for no reason.
There was nothing. When he got up,
he was fuming.
Yeah, he must have been... It's not 5th, evidently. He must have been chipped or scraped or someone said something. There's nothing in it.
Not even a hair pull.
No, and he got up and he walked in his face and you heard him say, that's going against you, Aden.
Well, the thing for that, though, is like there wasn't a headbutt or anything. It was just a coming together. I didn't see where the penalty was. Fair enough, they've called the penalty. But it's not like he went forward.
No, it's that he got up and walked off the mark and made something out of it and they're trying to crack that down.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
But you know what you can do in that then, where you can play the ball and push the bloke.
Yeah, 100% you can. It happens every third tackle.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what Ronaldo was thinking. What Fitzgibbon needs to say is, if you cop something, stay down.
Yeah.
Let the video ref have a look at it or get up and play the frigging ball.
And then push him.
Yeah, because if that's 18 all, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
And I know they scored eventually from it. But that one negative from 2 weeks is pretty darn good.
Yeah. It
had to be brought up.
Has to be brought up. We haven't had the incorrect play the ball.
Yep.
So that's pretty good. But yeah, penalties.
That's the bugbear.
Penalties in possession now is just something.
It.
Yeah, something I don't like. Dan,
talk to me, Terry.
It's time for some top sport tips.
Tingling for some top sport tips.
Now I haven't updated the ladder for the last couple of weeks.
Pretty sure I'm winning.
I'm pretty sure you're winning as well. But I did claw back this week. I will say this.
Like a tiger.
Thank you, Sania Taruva. I have clawed you back. I will give you the Sharks this week, but I did take the Sharks off you the week before. That's all I can remember.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Look, there's some pretty good games of football this week, I think. There isn't a good one on Thursday night as the Rabbitohs take on the Penrith Panthers. Now, some rumours going around that Terrell May be back for this one.
My interest is spiked.
No Cleary, though.
Cleary, HA, 10-day stand down, which is a shame. Jeez, he looked rough.
There is, again, some talk saying that Penrith may appeal this because we've seen other players into the 11-day protocol appeal it and get off.
Okay. We'll see.
But, yeah, we'll have to see about that one there. Look, Cleary looks like he always looks like he's concussed, so I don't think he's going to get away with it. For the Rabbits, they had a pretty easy opening couple of weeks. Ran
into a reality check.
Yeah, ran up against Cronulla. I think Penrith, even without Cleary, if you've got Talangi, Jack Cole, Mitch Kenny, Dane Laurie should be back.
Yeah. There's plenty of talent.
There's plenty of talent there. It'd be really interesting to know if Mitchell was playing because it might sway my tip on that.
That's not the way this works, Terry.
No, I know. Head and heart both say Penrith.
Cool. I'll say Southend just for...
Perfect. 6 o'clock. This is a 6 o'clock game.
Oh, yeah.
Chad Townsend and the Roosters taking on the Gold Coast Titans.
Okay, this will be fun.
Yep, it'll be a good way to fill a void for a main event.
Yep.
That is coming up, but even the main event's really not good on Friday night either. Look, again, how do you pick this one? The Roosters were diabolical in round one, very good against Penrith.
Boring,
chatting against the Wars. Yeah. So they've had 3 indifferent games. What are we going to get with the Titans? You don't know.
No.
I'll
tip first.
Yeah, you go.
Titans.
Yeah, I was leaning with the Titans. I knew you were going to say it as well. I can't bring it myself to pick Chad Townsend, so I'm going for the Titans. So sorry, buddy.
Fair enough.
We get a second game in the 4X Derby.
Oh, you're beauty.
So the Broncos have a chance to take an early lead 2-0 here as they travel 15 minutes down the road to take on the Dolphins. I think the game's at Suncorp.
It is at Suncorp, yeah. So they actually travel less.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
Yes.
We've already seen Brisbane get the Friday
It'll be fun for
games.
about 35 minutes.
Yeah, I think they win and win well. I think Reece Walsh responds to some fair criticism.
Fair criticism,
and
indeed.
has a man of the match performance and plays. I think Tony Staggs is 50-50 for this game, more likely than
I'd keep him out.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Why would you risk it? Yeah, I think them.
See if you can get him a Sunday Q Cup game. That would be the good way to do it.
Yeah.
Look, again, so many times I picked the Dolphins, they've let me down.
0-4, jeez.
Yeah, I'm hoping for it as well. They really deserve it. And then Hammer asks for a release. And
comes to Cronulla.
Hopefully. Both picking the Broncos.
Done.
Absolutely. I think we're both going to pick the same on this one as well. 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, Wynn Stadium. The Dragons are hosting the Melbourne Storm. Now, Jerome Hughes will not be playing. Nick Meaney will not be playing. It doesn't matter.
No, bring Wishart in and whoever from the stands.
Some other freak is going to come in to that side.
So the Dragons have had 3 games all at home. And
Probably.
a bye.
Yeah.
Despicable team.
Despicable.
And they're going to be 0-3.
Yeah, hopefully. And Dragons fans in the pre-season, who tipped us to win the wooden spoon? Yeah, we did. Yeah, loads
looking
of
pretty good, aren't we?
Yeah, we're looking
Dolphins
great.
might help, but yeah.
I think they're really, really thankful that Parramatta exist.
Oh, good point. I forgot about them. Melbourne.
Interesting game. 5:30 up at Country Bank, Seabass Country Bank Stadium, whatever it's called. 1-300 Smiles. Yeah, that's what it'll always be, won't it? Always be 1-300 Smiles to me. The North Queensland Cowboys hosting the Raiders.
Okay, I want to see how the Raiders bounce back, or if they can bounce back.
Yeah, now the Cowboys have been gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been
a little bit better this week.
They've been spanked 3 times.
Yeah, they have.
Absolutely spanked 3 times.
Cannot tackle.
They lost by 30, they lost by 20, and they lost by 10.
Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Draw.
Maybe. Not picking it, though. The Raiders, I liked what I saw in the first 2 weeks, then you just get that typical Canberra performance out of them.
That's fair.
But, I know this sounds real, but they will take solace in the fact in the last 20 minutes of the game they didn't concede a point.
Yep.
They scored the last 12. They got back to basics.
You got to find some positives.
You got to find some positives in a gloomy street. I'm going to pick the Raiders.
I'll go Cowboys then, just because you've got to keep it interesting. With 0, I hate it.
Yeah. 7:30, at the greatest stadium to have ever existed
Henson Park.
in Cronulla.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have cut you off.
The Sharks are hosting the Canterbury Bulldogs.
It's about the same capacity at the moment.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
interesting game here. Now, obviously, the Sharks will be blessed to run into the team without Burton, without kick out.
Yep.
But this is a danger game for Cronulla because they can turn around and go, oh, no kick out, no Burton, whatever, we can take it easy. No, you can't, because that is still a defensive juggernaut and that is still a team that will hurt you. They've got weapons in Crichton. Zeri has looked absolutely amazing. Connor Tracy is what he is. And we've always said he's just reliable. He's 7 out of 10 every week. He's been pretty good to start the year. They've got a big forward pack.
They do. They've got a lot of weapons left. I don't think they can outscore Cronulla, but they can definitely outdefend Cronulla.
Yeah.
So if the Sharks think they're going to run 90 metres and score, or 105 metres and score, probably not this week. Mm-hmm. You can tip the Sharks?
I am going to tip the Sharks, yeah.
Well, I have to go the Dogs then. I can't remember how this works exactly, but...
well, no, I mean, just you haven't been, you haven't been... If you want to pick the Sharks, pick the Sharks.
I'll stick with Cronulla this week. I just like what I saw from the halves.
Yep.
If Burton and kick out there, I think it's going to be an absolute slug. Mm-hmm. I think Cronulla win, but just.
I've seen a lot of Sharks fans turn around and going, oh, we should destroy them, we should destroy them. If you go into that game with the mindset of we should destroy them and we come out of there with a 12-6 win... that's on you. Yeah. Because this Canterbury team, it doesn't matter that they're missing Kickout and Burton. They're drilled by Serraldo to defend first. Yep. And if they can keep you out for 4 sets, that's as good as a try to them.
Yep, 100%.
So don't go in with that mindset of we're absolutely going to do them in here. Go in with the mindset is they're second on the ladder. They want to be a top 4 team. They are a top 4 team in theory. We're a top 4 team as well.
Let's get them.
We've got to go in and rip into this game.
Like that.
Dear God.
How do they keep getting...
It doesn't get any better for Parramatta as they have to go to Asbestos Stadium in Brookvale and take on Manly, who...
Oh, stop that. You got a white towel?
Oh, man.
Drop it off.
Can the Eels somehow restart their season?
Why do they keep getting 4 o'clock games?
God, it's to appease... they've got a big following. I don't know how. I don't know why. They're genuinely garbage.
They are so... I took a picture of a trash can today and put live to the Parramatta line.
But it's
no hate.
It's not even like the garbage here or there. Like, they have one freak run to a grand final every now and then. Other than that, they're hot trash.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's going to continue.
Yeah.
Dare I say, Manly don't need turbo. Opalati can score 4.
Yeah, if you're looking at Tommy's hamstring and going, it's only 70-30, cool.
Leave him out.
Leave him out. I'm picking Manly.
Yes.
Bollocks to you. And this is going to be a cracker. I don't know where it's played because they've got 15 home grounds.
Biggest stadium.
Whatever. The Tigers are hosting the Wars. Now, the Wars had a terrible start. Yes. Have bounced back.
Yep.
Won their games where they've needed to win. Mm-hmm. Tigers are at home. Same thing, at home.
Wherever that may be.
I think the Tigers got way too much for the Wars.
Yeah, I agree. I don't love what I'm seeing, even in win this past weekend. Yep. I only watched the highlights, full disclosure. I was busy elsewhere from the Warriors. The points, the Tigers, the emotions there. The Tigers are just going to ride it for a little. I think they'll hit at some stage. Yeah. But it ain't this weekend.
No, I don't think it's this weekend. I think Jerome Luai will have enough in him. Sania Taruva, Dream Buller, Api Coruscant. The more that you're saying these names out loud, I think they've got a bit too much for the Wires. I'm going to pick the Tigers in this one, confidently. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by the good people of Top Sport. Like and subscribe week, Japan. Oh, Rugby League fatigue. Is it Rugby League fatigue? Is it
It's been a big week.
It's been a huge weekend, Dan.
Yeah, happy waiting.